Hello, everyone. This is Tony Geraci. Thank you very much for watching our first broadcast of Real Estate Leaders with Tony Geraci. And I have my good friend, David Finale, here with me today. And this is, again, our first broadcast. And what we're doing, what we're trying to accomplish with our broadcast. I mean, I've known Dave for many, many years, and we love to talk about real estate and collaborate about how agents get better themselves and better their business. I've been in the business over 27 years. And how many years has it been for you, David?
Actually, if you look at all real estate and everything I've done in real estate, I am just hit 40 years.
Wow. Wow. That's great. So I love talking with you for many, many years that we've been friends about how we better our agents and our businesses. Right. And we want to share that with everybody, right? This is the whole point. We want to share that with other agents and brokers. And so this is not just for agents. This is for brokers and managers and ideas. And with our experience and the things that we've come across over the years, we want to share that with everybody. And also, one of the things we want to do is bring on guests, leaders. That's the whole part of the topic or the show. The name is Real Estate Leaders with Tony Geraci. So I want to bring out leaders and people that have accomplished their goals or reaching their goals or at least on target to hit their goals and what they're doing, because this is an ever-changing business. There's so much different things happening in technology and things to organize yourself and to prospect and to keep yourself organized. So we're going to hit every week, we're going to hit different topics. And through our Facebook, I'm going to post what those future topics are going to be. And also, I'm going to put out there, anybody could send me a message or direct message me or email me or text message me, any which way. And we'll try to hit topics that other agents and brokers will like to hear from us on that. So what kind of other things do you think we should accomplish during our show and the future of our show here, David?
Well, I think you've hit a lot of really good things. I mean, our experience, you've been in business, since 92, and I've been in business, I hate to say this, it's 40 years, that's 79, licensed first in 76 and all that stuff. So we've seen a couple of things. And I think using our experience along with what's going on today is going to have an awful lot of value for new agents, and these agents, by the way, you used leaders. They're leaders in the business.
Right.
So, there's all different kinds of leaders, and you don't have to be a broker owner to be a leader or involved in a board to be a leader. You're leaders, and we lead by example. And that's really, really important. So, I think one of the things that's important is for people to know a little bit, as much about us as possible. Would you agree with that?
Oh, definitely. And I would say back to what you say, leaders, you're your own boss. When you're a realtor, you have to lead yourself, which we all know that's probably one of the hardest things to do is lead yourself. So that's a little bit of that. So I always like to show the experience that we have as brokers, owners, as being in the business, 27 years, 40 years, but all of the things that we've learned. We're not stuck in the past, right? You don't say right. We're not stuck in the past. We're right here. We're present. We've known there's so much things that you learn in real estate over years and thousands of transactions, right? You're never going to learn everything. And that's part of the thing. What I'm trying to bring is some of these things that we've seen and some of the things that we don't even talk about now because everything's so present now. Like this is the technology. This is the thing. But hey, this thing we used to use years ago, back to basics, that worked too, and that might work for agents. So that, do you agree on that?
Absolutely. Think of it this way. So nowadays, what's the newest tool we got out there? We have Alexa. We can do flash briefings. We can do videos like this. We can go live on Facebook as we are right now. But let's talk about technology from years ago. Now we have this thing. This is called a smart device. Cell phone, some people call it. Smartphone, some people call it. Well, you know what? Garbage in, garbage out. So if you suck at this, you might suck at everything else having to do with this technology.
Right.
But I go back to when I first got into the business, when I was first licensed, and our technology where we were different than other offices was that, and this is going to sound really strange, is we had a triple color ribbon in our typewriter.
Oh, wow.
And we had to type our CMAs, right? We didn't have pictures. We had to type our CMAs, and mine was black, red, and blue because I had 3 different. I had a ribbon like that, and it was always aligned at that typewriter to do CMAs. I did my first CMA, got my first listing. It's a whopping $49,000 ranch in Somerset, New Jersey.
Wow.
Forget it, you know. But technology, look at that. That was high technology for us. And we used that thing called the phone, which we picked up to our ear rather than talked at. So technology has played an important role. But one thing that hasn't changed is that when I first got licensed in 76, and I worked part-time through college, when I said 79, 40 years full-time, my owners, my brokers were these 2 guys that did their business through people that they knew. I didn't get really any training. Is the phone rings, you need to answer it and say, you know, yada, 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 real estate. You know, that was my training. And we had a meeting every Monday, you know, it was get all excited and stuff and go out and do this, that, and the other thing. Nobody ever did anything, but anyway, that's the same as it is today. Right. And so, you know, as time went on, I mean, I knew that they had friends. One guy was a janitor at Johnson & Johnson. The other guy was an insurance agent. They knew tons of people. They made tons of money. So working with the people you know is actually how they got started and how they built a huge business.
Right. And what market, I mean, just so people know that we're watching this, our market, you know, I'm based out of Cleveland, but I have agents and doing business in Columbus and Cincinnati also, but mostly Northeastern Ohio. How about your market? So our viewers could see and know that, you know, we're also comparing markets. You know, because you mentioned the $49,000 house you sold in 1979. We still have those prices here in the Cleveland area. So that listing was taken in 1978 when I worked part-time summers as a real estate agent. And that was in Somerset, New Jersey, close to Central Jersey, New Brunswick, New Jersey. I went to Rutgers, so I lived down there in the summers and stuff. You know, college guy having fun during the summers and selling real estate. It was great. My market today is Bergen County, Hudson County, Passaic County, some Union, some Essex, but mostly northern New Jersey. And basically my market without traffic is a 20-minute ride or less to Manhattan. New York City. So we're right outside of New York City. I actually live a stone's throw literally from Giant Stadium. I'm sorry, MetLife Stadium, where the Giants and Jets play. And, you know, for all those baseball fans, it's a 20-minute ride with no traffic to Yankee Stadium and an hour ride with no traffic to Citi Field where the Mets play. So you have an idea where I am at. So, I mean, New Jersey, New York, but what I've always seen in real estate, well, especially now, back to the hot word technology, is that we all get it wherever we are. You know, it's not like if you're in New York, California, or Seattle, or Phoenix, or Texas, if you're getting something faster than someone in Cleveland or another smaller market somewhere else. So technology is so fast, any agent can do it. So being in different markets, you know, we definitely see the same things as realtors do.
Right, exactly. And some areas lag behind. It seems that things sometimes happen first on the West Coast, and they make their way to the East Coast and then in between. But I'm going to tell you, I mean, you know, one of the things we wanted to talk about today was prospecting. I kind of got into a little bit. If I can go into that. Yeah,
definitely. Let's go right. So today, everybody, we're really one of our first topic outside of telling you what we're going to be talking. You know, our future of this show is that we're going to talk about prospecting because that's the most important thing in real estate and any sale. So we're going to go over that. So go ahead, Dave. You start it off.
Yeah. So I talked a little bit about that when I first started about working with people you know. And the most important thing, I mean, you know, you can talk to a lot of people, and I think 80 to 90% of coaches and trainers are going to say that you should be working with people you know because, you know, you already know them. Right. Or you work with FSBOs and expireds, and what do you know about them? Well, you know they want to sell their house, so it's not really a cold thing. But I just want to take a different avenue with that. Is that, you know, there's so many ways to do this with technology. We've been talking a little bit about, and the important part is that You know, as much as I am a technologist and a constant creator of relevant content, which I do every day, and a real estate agent, I also understand that sometimes keeping it simple really works. And I will tell you that the old ways of prospecting your sphere of influence still works.
Right.
When you couple that with technology and social media, you can explode.
Right. Oh, definitely. I always say that technology, if it takes you more time to do what you're supposed to be doing, is networking and talking to people and connecting with people, if that technology is taking you more time, then you got to figure out what technology is supposed to save us time, save us the organization, and be seamless with your lives. If you're spending more time on that. So that's where I think the experience that we have brings that to the table, because we could really see that. There's great successful agents and brokers that have been in the business only a few years or more, and they have certain technologies that's always been, like I joke with my kids and that you don't know a time without a PC. We had to go to the office because we didn't have one at home, you know, things like that. But that also gives us the perspective of what works. So I want to make sure our viewers and the people watching just don't say we're going to be those guys that have been in the business 25 years plus talking about how it's better this way. No, we're going to give you across the board our opinions on what's we feel is the best, but it comes down to that individual agent.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, you made a really good point about, and people can say, well, look at these two old guys, you know, in the business 27 and 40 years. I mean, what the hell do they know about today? Well, I'm going to tell you something. That the two guys you're watching right now know more about tech, actually forgot about more about technology and real estate than most agents know.
Right.
Or will ever know. So, I mean, my objective has always been to stay on the cutting edge with technology, which leads me to a question.
Sure.
I hate to bring this up now, but can you tell if we're live or not? Can anybody out there please say hello to us to see if we're live?
Yes, we are live right now.
Okay, cool. Excellent. I'm just making sure. Just making sure.
Right here.
You know, because sometimes it doesn't come up for me, and I always like to make sure that in the middle. But anyway, I digress there. But I mean, technology is just one of our tools now, and it's a necessary tool for a lot of us to use who want to use it. Now, you know, we get into different types of prospecting. I mean, prospecting for a successful business is, I had a conversation with a friend of mine today. There's a guy in our area, northern New Jersey, or actually through central Jersey. He's got billboards all over the state.
Right. Wow.
I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dollars this guy may be spending, but it's his robsellsnj.com.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting part is that what happens when this guy stops his billboards?
Right.
His business will stop. I mean, I don't know if Rob will ever see this video, but I'm going to tell him. I mean, it's just like Budweiser.
Right.
If Budweiser stopped what they're doing, they would lose money and lose business.
Right.
I don't say that your advertising or your marketing or your prospecting, when it stops, you're going to lose. It all depends on how you do it. And with the advent of social media, we're able to be on there continuously and always have us out there because it's instant, it's real, and it's free.
Right. And that brings up, always reminds me about a marketing class I took in college. It talked about years ago, Lucky Strike cigarettes. Not to bring up tobacco and smoking, but it was a good marketing thing, is that at one time they were the #1 cigarettes by far, that people were smoking Lucky Strikes. They were the #1. The second one, whoever the second was, so far behind them, some smart guy in marketing decided, let's cut off some of our marketing because everybody smokes us. They like our product. They like the taste. They like the product. We don't have to keep on reminding them what they like. And wow, that just killed their business. You still got to be out there. You still got to ask for referrals. You still got to prospect. You still got to find a way. And that's what I say about those billboards: cost effective for you, time effective and cost effective for you to keep your name in front of everybody.
Right. And if you do a good enough job, you will have a lingering effect. And you just mentioned Lucky Strike. And the thing I remember most about Lucky Strike is on the side of the pack, it had letters, LSMFT. You know what that meant?
No, I had no clue.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Oh, really?
It's on the side of every pack, and it was at the bottom. It was out of every ad. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. LSMFT. Rolled right off my tongue. I remember it, right?
See,
so it has a lingering effect. Not that really anything. I mean, Lucky Strikes was the one you rolled up in your sleeve, right? You know, that was that brand. So, but it was a brand, and people they branded it, and it worked. But you said when they stopped, they died.
And another, I mean, not to go off topic with marketing, but there's a show on Netflix I was watching with my kids. It's called Stranger Things.
Yeah.
It's based, have you know that show? It's based off in the 80s, and they brought out New Coke in there. And my kids were going, what's New Coke? They, you know, obviously this is in the 80s and they're bringing out, but this is about marketing and how, and still to this day, all the people that remember New Coke, we don't know. And if you read anything, was that the stupidest thing they ever did or the smartest thing they ever did? We don't know, but it was, again, a marketing blunder that they came out with. And it's just things that we remember this, you know?
Right.
So bottom line, you want to be remembered. If you want to make this a career in real estate, a lifelong career, you got to have kind of these stories where someone goes, wow, I bought my house 15 years ago from Tony or Dave. I remember this great experience I had with them. I remember their marketing. I want to call them again. So I guess kind of is at the point we're kind of trying to get through to everybody.
Right, but okay, so now that we've made that point, let's talk about the difference in what we're talking about with you, what you just said, and what they did before. See, before they had, I mean, it was New Coke and Pepsi was what was a marketing ploy to get more attention to Coke, because Coke changed their recipe to be more like Pepsi, because Pepsi was kicking their butts at that time. LSMFT, Lucky Strike means fine, that was good, but it didn't last. Here's the thing. When you stop, it won't last. It's the same with our prospecting and our sphere of influence. When you stop, it won't last unless they're your neighbor. Even then, they could forget about you. I've had so many times, Tony, when agents would come into my office and say, Dave, can you believe that this friend of my cousin just bought a house from somebody else? Right. And I'd say, yeah, what do you think about that? He goes, well, they forgot about me. And I'd say, bullshit. You know, you forgot about them. Right. You did not stay in touch. You did not have your points out there. And let us be clear about one other thing. 20 years ago, your conversation was different than it is today.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
Because back then you'd say, look, I'd love you to give me a referral if you know of anybody. That's 90s. The difference between then and today is really simple. Hey, man, how you doing? I'm really excited about my business going really well. You know, I'm glad I was able to help you this way. If you have any friends that I can help, let me know. You see the big difference in the conversation there?
Oh, definitely. And when I have an agent tell me, well, can you believe my neighbor down the street, I just didn't know he was selling, and there's a sign another agent there, or that cousin or that family member. I always tell every agent that when every time I go to a family party or an event, there's always someone that forgot about me. But the first thing I do, if someone says that, go into your database and you pull up every time you contacted that person. That's where technology comes in and makes it a little bit easier. If an agent's sitting in my office and goes, I can't believe I missed that listing or that because they forgot about me. I go, let me see how many times you contact them. You better be able to pull up your notes, your contacts, and see what was your schedule. Did you email them once a month or twice a year? Did you send them a card? Did you send them a magnet to put on their fridge? What did you do to lose that business? Kind of like we were saying, what did you do? What did you do to lose that business?
Well, I think the important part is people need to understand that if you're going to, like, I had so many agents do this. I send them my calendar that goes on their refrigerator every Christmas. You know how many open houses I've gone into would see a different agent's calendar on the refrigerator and not the listing agent? How did that work out for you? Here's the thing. I'm talking about 30 to 60 contacts a year. Now, do I mean direct? No, I mean direct, indirect, social, different kinds of things. And also using Facebook Messenger, which is a great tool. So say you go to that party you talked about and you see 10 people that are on your list. you know what? That next day should be a Facebook Messenger or a text to them that says, great seeing you yesterday. We need to catch up. Let's get coffee next week.
Right. Exactly.
You care. And you're not talking about business.
Right. Or when you are sending out calendars or recipe cards or anything that stays in touch with them, are you following up with a phone call? I had one of our agents have great success. They were sending out recipe cards. I mean, sometimes some people are like, oh, that's so, old school, sending out recipe cards. But if you followed up with a phone call, and today cooking, I mean, not to get off tangent of a specific way of prospecting, but cooking is everything. I mean, everybody's like cooking and showing pictures of what they ate and their food. And I have one agent that was sending out recipe cards, asking people and calling them, can you please send me, if you make this recipe, take a picture, put it on my Facebook. And then they're getting communication with people. They're like, look I cooked that recipe on that recipe card, look at, and then they brought people together on their social network. So it's a way of opening, use that kind of some of those old school things, right, to bring into the new age and put it into social networking. So you could combine, things together from new to old of going. Right. And I still, again, back to the things on people's fridges, that's not going away. I mean, I have agents that they get 3 to 5 transactions a year just out of mailing magnets and schedules of sports teams to people's houses.
There's a lot of things that work and a lot of things that surprise me as time goes on as to what actually does work. But here's the thing. I mean, if you have a database of between 100 and 200 people, I mean, 200 to 300 is really, I believe, the number that's correct that you should strive for. I mean, some people start out with 50. Hey, you know what? You got 50. That's all you got. Hit them. You got 75. Hit them. Don't wait until you're ready. People wait to get ready. They get ready to get ready all the time. But the point is that you made a really good point. If you're going to send something out, it must have a follow-up call behind it. If you're going to send out snail mail, especially, or if you're sending out an email, whatever your choice is of how you're going to mail or email or get it out there, you still need to attempt to communicate with them on a voice level at least 4 times a year. And that's coming from me as a coach because I know it works.
Right. Oh, definitely. And also, I take that to the next step of how you think people like to communicate. So there's some people that 100% they'll never pick up the phone or don't like the phone. Then you have to have that in that technology, in your database, in your contact management system, your follow-up system. You got to have a note. These people like a text message. These people like a direct message. These people like, whatever, an Instagram thing, or Facebook like. You got, how do people communicate? Everybody doesn't communicate the same way.
Right. And that's why you need every aspect of communication to use every piece that you can, which is phone, face-to-face, text, email, video, a lot of video, and so many other things. I mean, social media, what you're posting is all about you. Look, I'm going to be the first to tell you and not the last to tell you, or maybe I'm not the first to tell you that I believe that Facebook equals fake book. So let's make it real. Let's make it a real book, right? Let's take it that step further and be real about everything we do. And yes, people do want to know you're doing business. So, throw business stuff in there, educate, number one, facilitate different things that are going on in your communities. There's a thing Gary Vaynerchuk started talking about. Well, we've talked about it for years before Gary started talking about was being the digital mayor of your town.
Right. Exactly.
Do and that's that's a great topic as well. But prospecting, working with the people is the best way to get started.
Right. And I think, like you said, having a specific number of people. I think a lot of agents do a shotgun approach to everything. Let's just hit a number of people, especially with social media. They're just let's friend as many people as you like. Now, let me. This is a controversial comment. I have some agents that I'll go on their Facebook and I'll see they'll have 1,000 friends, but 800 of them are other realtors. I said, that's great. It's great to be friends with other realtors and network and be involved in our boards and things like that. But you have to have a network. You have to have people that are going to buy houses from you. and sell houses from you. You got to increase your database, but don't every day. If you're increasing your social network, try not to 2 for 1. 2 civilians, if you want to say, to every realtor. But some agents friend realtor, friend realtor, friend realtor, friend realtor, and then they're just, and then you're I see it. I sit with our agents and try to coach them on this, and I see your feed and your news feed, and it's just everything other realtors are doing, and you have to figure out and clear through that noise and find out what your prospects, your possible customers are doing. So yeah, you got to target market a little bit. You could shotgun a little bit, but you have to target. You got to figure out who's what.
So can I help you? Can I help you solve that problem for your agents out there and how to build their database?
Yeah,
it's very simple. So number one, you're allowed 5,000 friends on Facebook. Okay. What you should do is you should be friending people all of the time that are in your market, that are in your niche. How do you do that? Well, there's all different kinds of friends and people you see every day. You meet people every day. You just don't realize it. But if you don't, there's groups. There's local groups. I mean, just type in your town in the search bar of Facebook and go to these groups. Become a member of the group. And then as you move along, and this is for all of you to build your database, start friending people every day, because you can go to the list of members of that group, click it, and start friending everybody every day. But here's the thing, you can't friend 1,000 people in a day. You're going to get cut off. You're going to go to Facebook jail. So do 10 to 20 a day, but also write down who you're friending, because it's not going to be in alphabetical order. It's not going to be in any order, and the order is probably going to change every day. And this is a way to build up your database. And then thank them. What you should do is have, hey, I just friended you. I saw we had common interests or whatever. Thank them for it. You can do that the next day or the same day. There's different schools of thought on this, and I'm not saying one way is right or one way is wrong. But this is one way, Tony, to build your database as a new agent, as an experienced agent. And there's a lot of agents that move around the country that go into an area and they don't know anybody.
Right.
It's how you build the database. And you can do a simple Facebook ad to your town, giving information, and do it on a regular basis. People will see you. Right.
No, I'm a little OCD about my Facebook, and I know that 5,000 limit. And is anybody watching this? If you're on my Facebook, I have about 3,700 friends on Facebook. You're there. You're here for a reason. I've gone through every single one of my Facebook friends, and I'll give you a little tip of what I do on how to filter that list every day. Because I'm sorry, some people just feel that in our with social net. I'll just keep with Facebook that they if I unfriend someone, I'm like, you have to. You have a limit. You have 5,000. You got a limit. Unless you go to a business page, you could do that too. And you could have both. But what I do is on birthdays, almost everybody on Facebook has their birthday. So every day I filter my list. I go through my list of whose birthday it is, who is the person, are they a friend, are they a relative, are they another agent, who they are, am I in connection with them? Did I friend them 10 years ago and I just never communicated with them before? Who are they, and should they stay on my list? So that's one tip I could give you today on your Facebook. In 365 days, you will have filtered through your whole list on Facebook and made a decision, and it's in small bites, 5 people, 10 people. And then in 1 year, you could filter through everybody if they should be on your Facebook, if there's someone that you want to stay in touch with.
Right. So I just checked mine. I have 4,751 friends. And my business is coaching realtors. And I'm going to tell you that probably about 3,000 of them are real estate agents throughout the country. Right. So my objective is to get to that 5,000 limit by the end of the month, because I just made that a new goal because I was at 43. And I listened to someone from Texas, Tammy Pack is her name, and she talked about doing this with your customers. And she said, just keep doing it. And if you get to a point where you reach that 5,000 limit, go back in. But what you're saying, that's genius, man. Every day, because I make sure I say I do my best every day is part of my ritual to go in and wish everybody a happy birthday. Why? Because they become more aware of me, and I'm posting on their timeline.
Same thing, right?
So they're going to see my stuff. But that is a great way to filter through, you know, who you're talking to. And you know what? Honestly, you guys don't need mortgage. Well, you do need some mortgage people, entitled people, and all those. But you know, limit them. Limit who you have on there. If they're a mortgage guy from San Francisco and you're in South Carolina, don't think you need them on there.
Right. If you want, you can set up a second page for all those other people if you want to. But again, it's up to you. It's up to the agent. Like, how many people are they going to have? They might never even come close to that 5,000, you know, network. But it's really up to you. So, hey, Dave, we hit around the half-hour mark. Do you want to kind of wrap up about prospects, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, I just want to
everybody too long today.
About the what?
We don't want to keep everybody too long.
Oh, true. I mean, here's the important part. Working with people, you know, people say, oh, that doesn't work. Oh, everybody says the same thing. But here's another thing you should start every day with. I want you to work out every day. I want you to get your mind into the spirit of getting those endorphins going, and mind into the spirit of working and getting excited about what you do, and write down what you want every day, and then go into your prospecting. It's a way to get rolling in the days, way to get that snowball running down the hill. And look, they say a rolling stone gathers no moss. Well, you know, look at Mick Jagger and Keith what's his name?
Keith Richards.
Keith Richards, right. You know what? They have no moss on them, but they certainly age, and they're in their 70s and they're still rocking. You know why? Because they keep moving.
Right.
So keep moving, everybody, and just go out there and do it, and do that prospecting. Talk to a lot of people. Get 100 contacts a day.
Right. I like that. I heard another bald gentleman once say, "A busy road doesn't grow any grass." You know, so. So
there you go.
But yeah, so my tip today is very similar to yours. You have to grow your database every day and organize it every day. It could be little bites. You could spend a half hour. You could spend some time on it and filtering through people, and then organizing it with a good contact management system, CRM. You have, and something that's easy to use for you. That, you know, and you don't have to spend a lot of money anymore. You don't have to be spending $500, $1,000 a month on a most beautiful CRM system, whatever. Because, like you said earlier, garbage in is garbage out. If you don't put things into it and keep it organized, you just have a very expensive thing like you're not going to use, like a very expensive exercise equipment at home that just get, you know, there, and then you're stuck in a year contract and you just spent thousands of dollars on something you're not going to use. So if you don't have a free system of CRM that you're using today for free, you're not going to automatically, well, I'm going to start it for the first time and spend a lot of money. So that's a little tip.
Most of the franchises have their own CRMs that they allow agents to use, and most agents say, well, I don't want to give them my information. Well, you're not giving them your information. You still own the info. But if you don't like that, there's a couple of cheap ones out there. The cheapest one and best bang for the buck is Lion Desk, and then there's also Wise Agent. Two really good products. One thing I love about Lion Desk is you can mass text people. The only one that has that. So that's just my 2 cents about CRMs. But you must have one. And actually, the best one out there, you know which one it is, Tony?
What's that? Here.
The best CRM? It's the one you'll use.
Yeah, exactly. I'm stuck. I still use my iCloud. I have everything scheduled there, appointments scheduled, my notes and all my contacts. It's with my phone, and I got to the point where it was just any other type of CRM would take me more time to input the data than it wouldn't been. So again, something you're going to use organizes you, keeps you going. So what's our topic for next week, Dave? What do we got?
Well, next week we're going to talk about habits for real estate agents and getting into that focus and a daily ritual. Something we started a little bit talking about. But we want to talk about getting focused on your business and having that discipline. And I started a little bit by talking about working out in the morning and having what you're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit in depth about what your morning should look like and how it's going to rock you into the business of prospecting and getting you a daily routine. That's what I want to talk about next week, if that's okay with you, sir.
Yes, perfect. I like that a lot. So, I just want to thank everybody for watching today, our first inaugural episode, and hope to see you next Tuesday. We're going to keep this going at 11 every Tuesday. And remember, You got my contact information on Facebook if you want to direct message me or send me a text or email on future topics. And then we'll also keep watching my Facebook for the future guests that we're going to have. So we're going to be bringing on some experts and some leaders in real estate to go along with our topic to give us their take on things too. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks you, Dave, for your time. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.